Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at everything you need to know for Gameweek 35. The Roundup is a series on this channel that arms you with useful information to take into each game week to arrive at better decisions. This includes the top players for predicted points, the bookies odds, transfer trends and more. We'll start with the Goalscorer Odds, which are always based on the assumption that a player starts, and this is sometimes not the case. This game week Kane's top, given a 48.5% chance of scoring any time against Leicester. It's a home fixture and Leicester play Frankfurt in the Europa Conference League either side of this Spurs game. Therefore it's certainly possible that Rodgers rotates with those midweek games their only hope to European football next season. Kane has an excellent record against this Rodgers Leicester side, facing them 5 times and has 5 goals and 2 assists. Salah has a 44.5% chance of scoring any time against Newcastle, joint with Ronaldo and Son. Liverpool have their second leg in the Champions League against Villarreal next week, so if the game is wrapped up, Salah could come off early, but you'd expect him to start and he can grab a haul in 70 or 80 minutes for example. Son's record is less impressive against Rodgers' Leicester side, with an assist in 5 appearances, but he's still a very good option. Mahrez, Sterling and Jesus all make the top 10 from City for their match against Leeds. They too have a Champions League game next week, travelling to Madrid for the second leg. It's harder than ever to predict Pep's lineup this week. We could see some rotation with starts for the likes of Grealish and Gundogan, so captaincy in that game is high risk, high reward. Watkins faces Norwich this week for a great fixture, though Villa's goals have dried up as of late with 1 in their last 4. Onto the clean sheet odds, and Aston Villa lead with a 47% chance for the game against Norwich. Cash looks a strong option in their defence for 5.3 mil, with back-to-back doubles after the Norwich game. Liverpool are second with a 45% chance versus Newcastle on the road. This season Liverpool are second best for expected goals conceded after Man City. Man City have been given a 42.5% chance of a clean sheet for their game against Leeds. Jesse Marsch said this week that Leeds will have to go for it, they won't hold back nor be afraid, as they're not safe from relegation yet. Arsenal, Man United and Wolves have a 36% chance of a clean sheet. That said, it's 6 games since Arsenal last kept one, though they're up against West Ham, who certainly will have one eye on the Europa League second leg versus Roma on the Thursday after the game. Burnley have been digging at results recently and they have a 29% chance for their away trip to Vicarage Road against Watford, who look all but relegated. Rock bottom this week is Leeds, who host Man City and they've been given a 9.5% chance. Leicester are second bottom with a 12% chance against Spurs. In Rodgers' 5 games against Spurs, he's kept 1 clean sheet and conceded 11 times across the other 4 games. Onto the predicted points, and it's a really tight one this game week, with Salah leading on 6.9 predicted points. His effective ownership will be over 100%, but not expected to be significantly over, so there is an opportunity to back a player like Kane, Son or De Bruyne without too much exposure if Salah hauls. One concern with Spurs is their drop-off in their last 2 games, failing to register a shot on target. I'd back them to turn it around, particularly in front of their home crowd though this game week. Coutinho and Watkins make the top 10 for Villa in their game against Norwich. Gameweek 36 and 37 are double game weeks for Villa. However, one consideration is that in Gameweek 38 they face Man City away, so make sure you don't shoot yourself in the foot by landing on the final game week with a weak team. De Bruyne is in unbelievable form recently and he's one to consider for the armband. You could make the case for selling Son or Kane for him in Gameweek 36 when Spurs have a difficult double against Liverpool and Arsenal. Kane has 1 blank in his last 6 games and over that run he has 4 goals and 4 assists. If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider liking it to support the channel. Let's take a look at the most transfer players this game week, and Jesus is top with over 100,000 picking him up off the back of his 24-pointer against Watford. It could play out as a reactionary transfer after last game week because he had 1 start before then since game week 21. There's certainly points in that Man City side, so they're in the high risk, high reward territory. Foden looks the better pick for a similar price, in fact 0.7 mil cheaper. This might not be the week to pick up City assets though, as Pep may rotate more than usual before the Madrid game next week. This season Cash has an expected goal involvement of 4.96, which ranks 7th among all defenders. But well aware of his haul potential from those 3 games in Gameweek 27 and 28, where he scored 14, 11 and 18 for 43 points across 3 games. Many of us are still carrying dead woods such as Doherty, Tierney and Digne, so he could be the answer. If Nketiah puts in a good performance against West Ham, he just might be the best budget forward for double game week 36. Zuma returned to the West Ham starting 11 in their Europa League game, and if he makes the 11 on the weekend, he'll be their only senior centre-back available with Dawson suspended and the rest injured. Alonso has emerged as arguably the best Chelsea defender, with James's minutes up in the air recently. Rudiger was back from injury for the Man United game, but he doesn't carry the same attacking threat and costs more. Therefore Alonso is one to consider for 5.6 mil, but James or Rudiger to Alonso is far too sideways. Onto the most transferred out, and Rudiger's top with over 100,000 selling him. He returned to the Chelsea squad for the Man United game, and he could still be a strong pick for the remainder. However, if you can stretch to Trent, Robertson or Cancelo, they all look like better picks. Likewise, Laporte for around the same price could provide better value. Kane and Son are surprising names to see among the most sold, considering their appearances on the Goalscorer Odds and the predicted points tables. Livramento sadly picked up a serious injury which will rule him out for the remainder of the year, let alone season. Tavares from Arsenal costs the same as Livramento, and he's played the full 90 in the last two, so it could be a good option with no extra budget required. Maddison's been dropped by 43,000 managers, and he's a tricky one, as you feel Gameweek 36 and 37 is a great pick, but this week it's unclear if he even starts after starting in the Europa Conference League. We'll finish the roundup as always with the Captaincy Poll results. Thanks to everyone who voted on the poll on our Discord. If you'd like to join, the link's in the description. The results are in and they are as follows. Salah's top this week with 59.8% of the vote, despite minimal difference on the predicted points. Therefore, it is an opportunity to bet elsewhere if you're looking to maximise your upside this week. However, Salah remains an excellent captain pick for this game week. Kane is second with 18.2% of the vote. We've discussed his exceptional record against Leicester under Rodgers, though his recent numbers have dipped. He's taken 18 touches in the box over the last 4 game weeks and 7 shots in the box, which the likes of Richarlison and Werner have recorded twice as many over that span. De Bruyne is third with 6.4% of the vote. He's in the best form he's been all season and a really strong pick, particularly if you're chasing a mini league, and he's the sort of player that no one above you owns. Son gets 5.9% of the vote. Less than a third of Kane's vote despite higher ownership and more than twice as many points over the last 4 game weeks. Cancelo, Ronaldo, Trent and Robertson all get a few votes, and 5.3% voted for other. Thank you for watching this Game Week's episode of the Roundup. If you found it useful, please consider liking the video and subscribe to support the channel. I read every comment, so as always I'm keen to hear your thoughts.